And today I watch. I'm so tired. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna try and power through this with a cup of tea. Yes. Yeah, I'll probably go do this for every movie I review. Sorry, guys. Yes, but today is Venom. Yesterday I watched Venom. I'm gonna try and up the brightness here, and I'm just gonna talk through what I thought of it. I might give a score, I might not. It's just a chill discussion. Of course, let me know your opinions. It could differ, it could be the same. You could be impressed by some things, not so by others. But yeah, I'm going to add some visual aids to help me. So yeah, when I'm editing this thoughts video, yeah, just to spice up a bit. But it's just going to be me chatting and just trying to make sense of what I just saw, because the critics were 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, well, to be fair, I've learned to dismiss Rotten Tomatoes, especially after Batman v Superman. Ooh, sensitive subject there. But yeah, Venom is not a 28% movie, in my eyes. Of course, this is also an immediate reaction, and so I could change it like in like a year or so. I could be different, you never know. This is only one time I've already watched it, so maybe that makes a difference, but I had a blast, and everyone in the cinema seemed to have a blast as well. People were actually applauding. Not everyone. It was like a section of the group was, not of like everyone in the cinema was clapping, and that shows that they at least enjoyed it and I had fun watching it, even if it might have not been the best movie in the world. I was not expecting it to be a masterpiece. It's not Blade Runner 2049 where you just appreciate art in its purest form. It's supposed to be just a fun thrill ride, just to you to eat popcorn, have a good time, and go home satisfied, hopefully wanting more. And it really leaves you in the cinema, whether you leave from the last shot or you leave from the mid-credit scene. You're excited to see the next one. And my friends were already, who were watching it with me, they were like, oh, can't wait, the next one's going to be banging. But not in a bad way, so this one was bad. In a good way, the second one's going to be a cool movie also. Hopefully Sony don't mess it up. But yeah, and considering all the implications, no Spider-Man in this, I was very skeptical. But this is like, they did a very good job of what they gave themselves, almost. Oh, bloody hell. That's my alarm clock. That should tell you how early this is in the morning. And yeah, like, this is probably the best possible, or if not the possible ways a Venom movie could go without Spider-Man. Like, this is like the best possible way they could have done it. Like, if not the best probably, because there's some problems that I'll get into in a minute. But I found, like, Tom Hardy, like, once Tom Hardy was in this film, that was like the reason I watched this in the cinema, because Tom Hardy, just everything, he doesn't matter what he's given, he just makes it interesting to some extent. You know what I mean? He just makes it thought-provoking. Not thought-provoking, but just, he just makes the actor, he's just that good of an actor. He's a really good actor. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to hide the fact that I fancy the guy. Wait, what? But yeah, he does a really good job with what he's given. He's very goofy at the start, trying to, but he suits it. He does it well. He plays it well. He plays it up. He's sitting. Yeah. By the way, this is spoilers. By the way, sorry guys. Yeah, I'll probably say that in the title. Yeah, he's eating lobsters in the restaurant scene. That restaurant scene was kind of mad, but yeah. And let's start with the beginning. So we have the Life Foundation set up with them going to space, coming down from space. When you're watching like YouTube videos like Easter eggs, one of them was the Easter eggs that I didn't realise this at first, that one of the astronauts survived and they were actually called Jameson, as in J. Jonah Jameson. That was a very cool Easter egg there. So I really like that setup scene, seeing how the symbiote actually got to civilization in Earth. That was a cool setup. That was a very good setup. And then we move over to Eddie Brock and the Eddie Brock project. So he's almost like a film reporter type of thing. Of course, that wasn't in the comics, but this is a more modern interpretation of it. And I thought it was a great concept, but they just rushed it a bit. The montage just felt like they were just doing it for the sake of it, you know what I mean? Oh, this is a cool little modern take. Let's just try and set up Eddie Brock's character really quickly so we can just move on to Venom stuff. And the pacing of this one was fantastic, and it really did flow well after that. But I just felt there's a little more explored. Like you could just explore a bit more with Eddie Brock being a normal human being before he's inevitably like he's just very sweaty for the rest of the movie and stuff like that, which works. It works, but still, I want to see Eddie. I wanted to relate to him before that a bit more, and so. But I guess you learn more about Eddie Brock as you go through the movie, and you learn more about Venom as you go through the movie as well. I really like his line when he says, "I'm a loser on my planet as well as you." That's such a cool line. It was a funny line, but it also just gave you more insight on what his character is like. That's really cool. And also good for casual audiences as well as comics audiences. I think it struck a great balance between the two. When I don't know, I think her name's Annie or something. The girlfriend of Venom, who I think left Eddie way too quickly at the start of the film. Lost your job, take off the ring. Do you care more about work than marriage? Sad reality, maybe in this world. But yeah, that felt a bit forced, considering they hang out with each other like for the rest of the movie. So it's alright. But Dan, of course, she then goes with Dan. I think this is during the 6-month period, or maybe not. That's that's a bit iffy. But yeah, he's a doctor trying to MRI scan him, and he was a good extra. He was a good supporting character as well. We didn't know about. It's just that their reactions after Venom is revealed. Like this is assuming this is a world without like anything weird else going on. Or maybe, well, of course, in sequels they probably explore that a bit more. But like they see Eddie as Venom, but they're like, oh my god, and then like for the rest of the movie they're like, oh, it's Venom. Oh, you know what I mean? But no, but still, they did a good job with what they were given. Riz Ahmed did a fantastic job of playing you could believe that he was a guy with an art of persuading those through fear, as well as his agenda of trying to reach the next stage of evolution, so to speak. You hear it so many times in other movies, but yeah. Riz Ahmed did a good job trying to play. He was a bit of a dick, but you could see how he got to this stage of power with his influence and how he acts and stuff like that. I just wish we got a little more background with him, but he served his purpose. He served his purpose well, I feel. And it set the stage for a better villain, or not a better villain, but like a much bigger threat to come. Yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, I was gonna say something else about Rebecca. What's it? The bride of Venom. So we see She-Venom, who's played by the character who in the comics. So in the comics, Eddie's girlfriend, who's also in this movie, becomes She-Venom for a bit, and they did a fantastic callback. They really fit that one in there, and it almost felt like Sony writers were just like writing her character just to be in the movie just for that one scene. Because in my opinion, it was a brilliant scene. At first, I was a bit confused. I was like, "Oh, is the symbiote just by itself now, like acting as a human, in mimic?" But I was like, "This is going against the grain." But then I realized it was the character being possessed by the symbiote after she saw the dog in the hospital, innit? Which I really liked the little. It was much funnier than I thought, but then in the comics you realise that Venoms can be like that, and with this being a solo movie without Spider-Man, of course, if it was Spider-Man against Venom, then Venom would have that hatred and would have that more evil desire. He still has evil tendencies, of course, in this movie, but this is a solo movie, so you got to root for Venom in some way, shape, or form. And he's very funny, he's very cool, and he has a lot of hero. He's trying to be a hero while also seeing how weird he is and how he makes Eddie do questionable stuff. You know what I mean? And so yeah, she kisses Tom Hardy, and then the symbiote goes to Tom Hardy because the symbiote felt a connection with Eddie Brock. They have achieved symbiosis. I really like that's another reason I like Riz Ahmed. The way he said stuff made stuff like sound even cooler, because when like the chase scene with what's it called, Life Foundation chasing Eddie Brock, it wasn't the best ever chase scene ever in my opinion. I think it was just a standard chase sequence. We saw most of it in the trailer, unfortunately, but Riz Ahmed was like, "Are you seeing this? This is amazing. They are achieving symbiosis," and the way he said it, it doesn't. He's the villain, but what he's saying is true. It's very interesting watching this unfold on screen, and everyone was having a thrill doing it. Like, I was trying to like make jokes to my mates about like inside jokes, you know what I mean? But they were too busy just watching the film, really interested. Like my mate at the end of the movie said, "Oh, I was just kept on eating popcorn." Just that's, you know, that standard thing where you just keep on eating popcorn, watching the screen, because they're just that into it. And it gave you some room to breathe in some cases, but even that, it gave you just enough place to breathe while also giving you a through line to just follow, and just the end game at the end. What else to say? Tom Hardy does the voice of Venom. Whoever the symbiote goes with, it's the actor who's the voice of the symbiote, like that specific symbiote. Tom Hardy's voice is just made in heaven, isn't it? It's just like, yeah, and it's good for seriousness. It's like, I really like the scene. It's an underrated scene, I think, maybe when he goes up the top of the building and he's like looking at the city. I wish we saw a bit more. I think that was a bit rushed, but he's like, oh, this planet's not as ugly as I thought it was, or something like that. That was such a cool cinematography, and cinematography was brilliant. CGI was top-notch stuff. Like, CGI had to be good, and it was good. And at the end, when he's fighting Riot, you see a bit of it in the trailer, but in the movie, when you're seeing it in a massive screen, and it's like slow motion, and they really took their time with this. It's almost like the filmmakers were like, appreciate this, and we were appreciating it, I think. I was in awe. And I really like the effect that Riot does, that shards coming out of his back and his little like things like sticking out and stuff like that. That's really cool. I wish we saw more of that, but I think we just got enough of it. Venom, when he says the P word, when Eddie refuses to jump at the building, and the editing of that, and then he just takes the elevator and he's like, pussy, you know what I mean? Oh, that was absolutely hilarious, brilliant, and yeah, and this is a really good movie in my opinion. Maybe after subsequent viewings, it will see the shortcomings. Character development might not be the best in every character, but you could tell they were all trying to make this a good movie. The filmmakers were trying to make you can tell when the movie's trying to be good, and this movie tried to be good, and it succeeded for the most part, in my opinion. Like, I think this is like an 7 out of 10 movie, 8 out of 10 at least. Like that could, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's that enjoyable to watch. The soundtrack was very good as well. It's like one of those things where the music doesn't overtake the movie. It's just part of the experience, and you don't notice it's there. It just helps you do the through line. At the beginning, it was a bit weird with like the montage and the pop music coming in and stuff like that. That was a bit forced, but after that, I think it was good. So at the end of the movie, Venom kills Riot. Yeah. Also, Eddie, when he goes to the Life Foundation, he does a bit stupid thing where he like lets all the alarms go. That was a bit stupid, but the fact that the homeless woman was someone he knew and it already been set up slightly, that was cool. It showed that Eddie had a good side. He wanted to be a good person, but ultimately, like many of us in society, we just do what work requires us to do. Sorry, I'm being a bit bleak here, but yeah. We see him in the shop. He's like, oh, I can't do anything. I just have to sit down in the shop while Mrs. Chen gets robbed by this guy. Of course, at the end, Venom allows him to sort those problems out, albeit by eating people. But that's the double-edged sword with Venom: good side, bad side, and anti-hero type thing. That's really cool. And of course, Eddie, as the movie goes along, at the start, he's like, what the hell is going on to me? Like, I'm like on a mad one, you know? Like, I need to get rid of this. And I was very surprised when the Venom symbiote did actually go out of Eddie for a bit. Gave him time to reflect and also say that maybe this power has some good sides to it also. And this can allow me to do stuff and be someone who I never thought I could be. I could be someone who can make a difference to some extent. I know the movie doesn't really portray it like that, doesn't really portray in that deep way, but you get that message, if you know what I mean. So yeah, enough of that rambling. So let's see, am I still recording? Yes, I'm still recording. So by the end of the movie, I really like Wyatt's like, you're a traitor, but then Venom's learned to love this world. Not love this world, but like Eddie and see through his point of view and see, just as Eddie's learning from Venom, Venom's learning from Eddie as well. And I like the visual cues of him coming out of his body and trying to make it him to actually talk to the symbiote. That's a change from the comics. It's just in the head, and they do mostly in the head, but they also do the visual things and the little when the sound things coming out. It's not like it's all going out. It's like some sonic. It's almost digital mask. We saw in the trailer where it's like switching between the face of Eddie and the face of Venom. They just did cool visual clues, even if it doesn't make the most sense. It just makes it look cool. like visually interesting, and that can make a big difference in how people perceive a movie. It's a visual thing, isn't it? It's not like it's a podcast or anything. So by the end of the movie, I've got this string for somebody. I don't know why. By the end of the movie, Wyatt's calling Venom traitor. That was a cool line. You could see from Wyatt's point of view to some extent why he would just be like, these humans are like, come on, let's just go back up and just invade this place. This is a good inhabitable world. You know what I mean? But then Venom is like, have a nice life, which is a good callback to Life Foundation. That was a cool line. I didn't notice that in the movie. But then he destroys the rocket, and then Riz Ahmed's character dies, and the symbiote dies, I'm assuming, from fire. And you really see the death scene, like it shows that Riz Ahmed is like burning in flames. Like that was a really cool shot, and that sorts it out. He's gone. Venom, of course, he's falling, and the fire's affecting him as well. The fire's also a weakness, I think. Yeah, and they also mentioned, that goes back to a point where they said solid waste are his kryptonite, so that means Superman's a comic book in this universe. Hey. Once again, a bridge between comic references and casual references. So casual people already know about kryptonite because that's Superman's like of course it's a society. Loads of people know about him, and even if they don't read the comics, so they would know about that, and of course the comic people will know about that as well. That's a common saying, like, oh, that's your weakness, but that's your kryptonite. And so yeah, so Venom, we assume Venom's like, he's like, goodbye Eddie, because he thinks he's gonna die. The symbiote's gonna die. And then we assume Eddie is dead while Eddie's talking to the girlfriend at the end. But then we realise Venom is still in his head. It's just that Eddie has more control of it, so we don't notice until he's talking to him and stuff like that. And so somehow he survived then. So it's one of those things, suspension of disbelief. So Venom survived. We don't know how alien anatomy works. We're assuming he got damaged to some extent, but he survived. He got in the water with Eddie. And yeah. That final scene, he gets the robber, and yeah, I thought that was going to be the end of the scene when he bites the head off, but then I forget, he makes that funny joke, oh, I'm a parasite, Dr. Chen. Oh, not Dr. Chen, Mrs. Chen. And then he goes out, and in the trailers, my favourite line was, look into my eyes, Eddie. Not that, oh, that bit was separated from the rest of the movie, but my favourite line in the last trailer was, we can do whatever we want. Sorry, that was let's do a better impression. The way I see it, we can do whatever we want. Not the best, but it's the morning. I'm drinking some tea. That's my excuse. Yeah, that was a really good line, and that's that last line that was in the movie. And so, yeah. And then, post-credit scene. We were all very impressed. Mid-credit scene. Woody Harrelson is Cletus Cassidy. Is he with the symbiote already? Or is he just saying there's going to be maximum carnage and then the symbiote will come in the second movie just about? Maybe the symbiote is following Eddie, trying to observe what Venom's doing with him, and then he's going to take over the serial killer that Eddie's interviewing. And I hope we see more of that Eddie interviewing people, trying to be a normal person while also balancing his life as an anti-hero and stuff like that. And yeah, the final post-credit scene, that's about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm not going to spoil that one if you haven't watched it yet. I might talk about it in another video. I'm going to talk about that in another video. That wasn't, so I was expecting a second post-credit scene about Venom, but it was just basically a clip from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and that will probably be a movie I'm going to watch. And and I'm not surprised Sony previewed that because they want people to watch this animated film. Because this movie is one of the things. These kind of animated movies was like, this is a really different kind of anime movie, so it could go like, it could get like 200 million box office, but it could also get 1 billion depending on the circumstances. I don't think it'll get 1 billion because it's against Mary Poppins and Aquaman Christmas and stuff like that. But yeah, 20-minute video almost. Jeez, there's probably so much more I could talk about. But I'm going to leave that to you guys down below in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Let me know if you want me to do stuff more like this. How do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do just my voice? Do you want me to do no visual aids? I don't know if I will add a visual aid to this. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see you guys next time for another video. That's what I'm doing. Have I got anything more to say? Press the red button to stop. This is a really awkward video. We are Venom.